Today we are going to see about the JavaScript actions, and we will see how to get a variable, how to manipulate, how to add, subtract, multiply, divide the values which we get if basically they are in integers, or if we can add any strings to the extracted variable, and then how to set the variable again or set the value again back to the variable. So this is the very first basic thing which we have to understand with the Neoload JavaScript. The same works when you are trying this with a script, but I do not want to make it too complex because it is very difficult to understand as a beginning step with the script and then the JavaScript. So let's distribute it. So first we will try that with a single JavaScript, and then we will implement the same in the script, and then we will see how does it work. So for now, what we are going to do is we are going to create a JavaScript where we get a variable, we add, subtract, multiply or divide the variable, and then we set that variable to that particular parameter or the variable, and then we will see how does it work. So before we move on to the video, this is me, your Vasant Shanmugam. I welcome you all to Little Slaw YouTube channel. Please do subscribe to our channel and support us. Like, share and comment the video. So here we have the Neoload opened, and I'm not going to add any script, and the only thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to add a JavaScript, and you can find the JavaScript as an actions, the advanced action in the under the actions folder. So I'm going to drag and drop this into the user path, into the actions. So here we have added the script, and this is the default value or the default JavaScript which Neoload gives us, and this actually helps us a lot many ways. So here we can see we can get a value from the my variable, which is from a parameter or from a correlated value, and then here we have a condition where if the value that we extract is null, then we display that as the variable not found, and then we have a library function where we display the value. So the logger.debug will print the value. So this is something like a printf which we use in any of our programming languages, where we can find what is the current status of the value. So this is something like a printf or println in any language whatever we use. So this is very helpful, that is, which is the logger.debug, and there are many different logging options, which is like logger.debug, logger.info, logger.warn, logger.error. So there are many different things which we will see that, which will cover that in this video. And then we have this last statement, which is setting or injecting the computed value in the runtime variable. So here we start. So this is the runtime variable we get here, and we set the value here. So let's see them one by one. So first, and there is one more thing. So how to comment if we do not want a value. So let's comment this and I'll show you. So this is the double slash which comments the statements of the line. So for now, let's comment these values, and the only value which we are going to use here now is we are going to get the value which is the my_var. So for that, let us create a variable. So we have a variable here, so which is my_var, and it is a random integer, and here we have this which will come from 1 to 1000, any value that comes here. So now what we're going to do is we are getting the value from this my_var. So any value, any random value that comes here will be set in this variable. So we are getting from this parameter here, and we are passing that value to this variable which is of a local scope. So this my_var which we have here has a local scope inside this JavaScript. So if it goes outside, the value will change. So this has the scope only inside this JavaScript. So let's now print this value. So we'll do that using logger.info and my_var. So let's now see how does this work. And there is one more thing, if there is any compilation thing that has to happen, so you can do that here. So say for example, if I'm adding any unwanted variable and if I'm clicking on apply, it will tell us that there is something wrong or something that has to be fixed. So if you pick here, so if the script syntax is valid, so this actually covers 90% of the syntax and all the compilation things. So make sure you do this apply or reload before you move on to running the script. So now we have got a value, so we'll be getting a value and we are printing it here. So let's now do that. So here we have got 3 iterations of the values, and here we can see that we have got logger.info. So here we have got it as info and the value is 178. So here we can see the value, the random integer is 178 and the second digit is 118 and then it is 260. So now we might have a question. So what if I want to increment or increase the value? Say for example, if you are running a script where you have 10 orders and you want to increase the value to 12 orders or 13 orders randomly inside based on a particular constraint or particular scaling, so we can do that. So let's see how to add this number, how to subtract, how to multiply and divide. So let's see them one by one. So here we have the value, and then let us bring the myvar again, and now we have myvar plus 10. So now we are adding the value. So here we have, for example, if we have 100 and then if we are adding it 10, so it has to be 110. So let's apply it. So there is no any syntax errors are there. So let's now validate the script and see how does it work. So here we will, okay, we have not added the logger.info, so let me add that value again. So just logger.info and then the myvar. So here we have a shocking surprise, which is we have a value which is we have got from the value as 421 from the variable, from the random integer. But when we are adding the plus symbol, it gets as 421 and 10. So which is the value did not get added, but instead it has got concatenated, which has been added as a string at the end. So even we can see the same thing. So here it is 160 and now it is 16,000, and here again it is 305 and it is now 30,050, 510. But at the same time, let's see how does the other operators work. So here I'm adding a minus symbol, which is I'm trying to subtract. So let's see how does the subtraction works and what does really happen if we are changing the operator from an additional symbol to a subtraction symbol, and let's see how does it work. And here we can see it is very constant that the number 65 has been reduced 10 numbers to 55 and 89 to 79 and 783 to 773. So the plus symbol is the one that is not working so far. So let's try with multiplication and let me do this apply. So the script syntax is valid and I'm running the script again. So that initially we started with plus symbol, which has added the number to the end of the number, the end of the myvar, and then we have tried with the minus symbol, and minus symbol have worked, which has reduced to the reduce the value minus 10. And now let's try the multiply multiply with 10. So here we have 9320 to 9000 and 56 to 560 and 171 to 1710. And let's try the last one, which is the divide symbol, and let's try how does it work. So far we have got the subtraction works fine with this same syntax and the multiplication has worked, and now we are trying with the dividing symbol, and let's see how does the value gets divided and what is the value that we are getting as the output of the script. So here we can see we have got the integer to the float value. So 54.6, 13.3, and finally it is 55. So why does the plus symbol is not working, or the addition operator is not working? So what is the solution for that? Do we have a solution? Yes, we have a solution, that is parseInt. So what we're going to do is we are going to change this value to integer. And now let's try the addition and let's see how does it work. So this parseInt will convert the value to the variable to an integer, and with that the addition will work. So it can just observe that we might need this addition only with the parseInt, only with the addition, not with the subtraction or with the multiplication or with the division. And here we can see the 610 has changed to 620, and 952 to 962, and 413 to 423. So that is how the variable works. So far what we have did is we have got a value from the my variable, which is the parameter file, and then we have displayed it, and then we have added, subtracted, multiplied, divided the value with the number 10, and then we have displayed it. So what if I want to take it to the next level? So what if I want to try another variable? So let's try with a different thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, or let me add a new one. So what we do is we will try a new string. So let's add a new string here, and let's see how does the new string work, because in most of the scripts where we might need to add some value into the script, and then we have to use it, and we have to pass it as a variable. So we have got my string. So let's change all these to my str, which is my string. Then here again it's my string. Let's remove this for now, and let's just see how does this my string work. So what I have given here is I'm getting the value from the my string, which is a completely random string. So we'll get a length of variable between 5 to 10, and then we are displaying it, and we'll see how does it work. Okay, so as I told you earlier, so before we move on to the script, we have to make sure we apply this, and we have to make sure that the script syntax is valid, and then we will have to move to the string. So now we are starting the validation, and let's see how does this my string works, because previously we have validated with the variable, that is with the numbers, and now we are playing with the string, that is the characters, and let's see how does it work. Okay, so we have got we have given my where we have forgot to change that. So let me change the value here, and let's apply that without forgetting it, and then let's run the validation. So here we can see, so these are the variables. So here you can see it is PQF, PFQMA, and it's the other value. So what if we want to add some variables? Say for example, if you want to add some particular prefix or a suffix to the value. So let's try that. So I'm bringing my str, and then the my str and plus, so which we are going to add some value, and it is going to be little slaw. So we are going to add little slaw at the end of each value, and in fact we can add we can even play with this, like this actually make wonders, this JavaScript. So let's apply this and see how does it work. So now inside this, if we see here, okay, sorry, we forgot to print this. So let me print it here, and let's click apply and run it again. So here we can see these are the variables which we have got from the random string. So let's go into each script, and here we can see that we have added the value at the end. So what if we want to add a space? So here we can add a space in between that, So there are like different ways to do it. Let's try that one by one. And here we can see we have got the space after the variable. So now let's take it to the next level. So we have got a we have got a value, we get a value, we have added it, and then we have set it up. So now let's try to set the value. So how to set the value? And let's see how does that work. So here we have context dot variable manager dot set value. So let me uncomment it and let us set the value. So this value which we have here is going to be the value that we set. So let us set the value here, which is my str. So this will get printed. I mean, this is a kind of printing statement where it says that this is printed here. So now let's set the value. So we have set the value back, and let's see what does this set value works. So I'm saving it and I'm running it now, and let's see. So, and again, let's do a logger to make sure it works fine after each and every action. So here we can see that the value has set. And we have got that printed here. We have got the value printed here, and let's try an additional statement where we get this value and print it here. So what we are doing is like we are getting a string value, we are concatenating the little slaw at the end of the value, and then again we are getting the value here. Okay, let's move it to this place, or we can do another thing. So what we'll do is we will cut this and we will move it to another JavaScript. So I'm adding a JavaScript here, I'm removing everything and I'm just pasting this one. So in the previous script we are getting a string variable, we are doing some manipulations here, we are adding the little slaw at the end of the random string, and then we are setting the latest value, that is my string, adding to the little slaw inside the my string. So at the end of the script we have set whatever we have got with the my string plus little slaw, and then here if we go to the next script we are getting the value and see whether the value is updated to the variable manager. And let's now run this script, and let's see, before that let's change this to 1 to make sure to avoid any confusions, and let's run the script. So let's apply and check. Okay, so everything is fine. Now let's run the script and see how does it work. And here we can see in the very first script, in the very first JavaScript, it is xxpjxhdp, and at the end we have changed the values, and we have this is a logger.info, so we have just printed what is the latest value. And in the second script, which is the second JavaScript, we can see that the value or the string value is being set as little slaw. So there is one thing which we can check here, which is whether it is a printing statement or whether it is really implemented or whether it is really set inside this value. So to see that, what we can do is, after we have get all these values, we did all these manipulations, and let's just comment this. So what we are doing is like we are commenting this statement. So here we have stopped the setting value, and let's see what comes in the second script, whether it is the same value or whether it is a different value. So in the very first string we have got GPISGUFW, and little slaw has been added to the end. And when it comes to the script 1, we have got a different value, so which means the value is not been set to the user, and that is how it works. So here we have got the value, but we did not set the value, and that's the reason when it comes to the same user for the next action, we have got a different value, and that is how the get and set works. So we did, so initially we have got a variable. I mean, again, this setting the value works with, say, with the variable or the string or data or whatever values that we get here, and when we do this set value, that value that we have got at the end of whatever we do this manipulation, so that value will be set inside the variable, and that will be shared across that particular user till the end of the script, and that's how this particular JavaScript and this get set works. So I believe this video would have been very useful. If you have any doubts on regarding this, please do comment in the comment section. We can discuss that and I can help you with that. Please do not forget to subscribe. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share the video with your friends. We will meet with another interesting and informative video next time. Until then, it's bye-bye from Vasant Shanmugam and Little's Law.